Which exception should I raise on bad illegal argument combinations in Python? I was wondering about the best practices for indicating invalid argument combinations in Python. I've come across a few situations where you have a function like so. The only annoyance with this is that every package has its own, usually slightly differing bad valua. I know that in Java there exists java.lang.illegal argument exception. Is it well understood that everybody will be creating their own bad valuas in Python, or is there another, preferred method?
I would just raise value error, unless you need a more specific exception. There's really no point in doing class bad value error, column pass. Your custom class is identical in use to value error, so why not use that?
I would inherit from value error. It is sometimes better to create your own exceptions, but inherit from a built-in one, which is as close to what you want as possible. If you need to catch that specific error, it is helpful to have a name.
I think the best way to handle this is the way Python itself handles it. Python raises a type error. For example, our junior dev just found this page in a Google search for Python exception wrong arguments, and I'm surprised that the obvious, to me, answer wasn't ever suggested in the decades since this question was asked.
It depends on what the problem with the arguments is. If the argument has the wrong type, raise a type error. For example, when you get a string instead of one of those booleans. Note, however, that in Python we rarely make any checks like this. If the argument really is invalid, some deeper function will probably do the complaining for us. And if we only check the boolean value, perhaps some code user will later just feed it a string knowing that non-empty strings are always true. It might save him a cast. If the arguments have invalid values, raise value error. This seems more appropriate in your case? Or in this specific case, have a true value of recurse imply a true value of save. Since I would consider this a recovery from an error, you might also want to complain in the log.
I've mostly just seen the built-in value error used in this situation.
If you want to support the channel, please consider liking and subscribing.